So, well, next we shall discuss some more concepts. So, that is how the refraction of a plane wave takes place when light travels through the prism. And let us see, so next, how the refraction takes place in case of a convex lens. And next, we are going to discuss how the reflection takes place in case of a concave mirror. So, let us discuss in three factors, and after that we shall discuss about Doppler effect. So already in first year classes we discussed how Doppler effect takes place in case of a sound wave, but in second year concept, so how the Doppler effect takes place in case of a light wave. So let us discuss about that. So now we are going to discuss one by one. That is, first we shall discuss how the refraction of a plane wave takes place in case of a thin prism. So let us see that one. So in order to explain that one, so we are using this diagram. So this is the diagram used to explain refraction of plane wave in case of a thin prism. So here prism is shown, that is, you can name it as A, B, C, or generally here name is not given here. So generally diagram is shown here. So in this is the incident wavefront. So that is shown here. When light ray passes through this thin prism, this is the thin prism. So let us name it as A, B, C for your reference it is. So when light ray or incident plane wave, when it passes through this thin prism, so by passing through thin prism, so it is going to refraction takes place by passing to thin prism. This is the incident wavefront and this is the refracted wavefront. So this is the refracted wavefront. So this is in case of thin prism. So let us explain how the refraction of plane wave in case of a thin prism takes place means. So already the prism is shown here. So this is the incident plane wave. So it is passing through this thin prism. So by passing through, the reflected wavefront is coming outside. So here figure shows an incident plane wave of light passing through a thin prism ABC. So we already named here ABC. The speed of light waves in glass is less than in air. Then the lower portion of the incoming or incident wavefront that travels through the greatest thickness BC of the glass material of the prism ABC. So as compared to the edges, so as compared to these edges, so what it happened when we compare with the edges will get delayed more since the light travels more slowly in glass than in air. Thus, resulting diffracted wavefront will show the tilt with respect to incident wavefront. So this is the incident wavefront and this is the reflected wavefront. So like this, the refraction of plane wave is going to take place in case of a thin prism. So like this you have to explain, based on this how they will ask means explain how refraction of plane wave takes place in case of a thin prism. Like that they will ask a question. So same thing, let us discuss how the refraction of a plane wave takes place in case of second case, that is convex lens. In case of a convex lens, how the refraction of plane wave takes place. So for that we are considering this diagram. So in order to explain refraction of plane wave in case of a convex lens, in case of a convex lens, so we are considering this diagram. So this is the This is in case of convex lens. So how the refraction takes place in case of a convex lens? So let us see. So this is the convex lens, it is shown here, and here this is the incident plane wavefront, it is passing through this convex lens, and here this is the spherical wavefront of radius f. So the spherical wavefront is shown with the help of a dotted line. So let us discuss how the refraction of plane wave takes place in case of a convex lens. Same thing how we are going to explain. So from this figure B, so in that the incident wavefront of light passing through thin glass convex lens. The lens we are using is convex lens here. So let us represent lens L here with optic center O. So O is the optic center which is present inside the lens. So having the focal length F, the center part of the incident plane wave passes through the thickness portion of the convex lens as compared to the edge and is delayed the most, then the resulting reflected has a diffraction at the center. So this refracted wavefront becomes spherical wavefront in shape. So that is already shown in this diagram how it becomes spherical. The refracted wavefront becomes spherical wavefront in shape and converges to a point called focus. And here the blue point is shown here, and all the rays are going to converge this point F here, that is shown here. So this is the explanation about how the refraction of plane wave takes place in case of a convex lens. So here we are using lens. So incident wavefront passing through this lens. So here the wavefront is going to refract here, and after refraction it is going to form a spherical shape, and they are going to converge to a focus point F. Already it is shown in the diagram. So next we shall move to next concept, that is how the reflection of plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror. So we discussed how the refraction of plane wave takes place in case of a convex lens we saw. Next we shall see how the reflection of plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror. So concave mirror, the diagram is little bit different. So here we discussed about lens, and next we are going to discuss how the reflection of a plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror we shall discuss. So the diagram used for that is this one. So we are discussing in case of third one. So that is this one. So the figure, see, so how the reflection of a plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror. So this is the incident plane wave that is shown here, and here this is the incident plane wave by passing through this concave mirror. So all the reflected the waves. So in case of a concave mirror, so the incident plane wave by passing through the concave mirror, so concave mirror is having of radius r that is shown in the figure, and here by passing through concave mirror of radius r, all the reflected wave front, they are going to converge to a point, or they are going to meet at a point that is denoted by F. F is nothing but focus point. So in case of concave mirror, the incident wavefront after passing through concave mirror, so the reflected rays, they are going to converge to a point that is denoted by letter F, that is already shown in the diagram. So here, how you are going to explain that one, how the reflection of a plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror. How we are going to explain from the figure, plane wave of light incident on a concave mirror. So here mirror is shown here. The central portion of the incident plane wave front travel through the greatest distance before and after getting reflected as compared to the edges. On reflection from the concave mirror, we have a spherical wavefront converging to the focal point F. So that is already shown in this diagram. So this is the concave mirror of radius r. The reflected rays, they are going to meet at a point that is focus point F, already shown here. And here the refracted wavefront, it is going to form a sphere. So the spherical wavefront, it is having of radius r by 2. So this is all about how the reflection of plane wave takes place in case of a thin prism and in case of a convex lens and in case of a concave mirror. So like this, we discuss how the refraction of a plane wave takes place in case of a thin prism and convex lens, and how the reflection of plane wave takes place in case of a concave mirror. So next we shall discuss about what is the meaning of Doppler effect. And Doppler effect mainly classified into two types, that is red shift and blue shift. So in red shift, how it takes place and what is the difference between red shift and the blue shift, we shall discuss about Doppler effect. So here let us next we shall discuss about Doppler effect. So the Doppler effect, however, already we studied in the class 11. What is the meaning of Doppler effect? So Doppler effect means, how we are going to define Doppler effect, already we learned in first year class. The apparent change in frequency of wave from a source due to relative motion between observer and the source is called Doppler effect. And the Doppler effect, so they are classified into two types. What is the meaning of Doppler effect means? That is due to apparent change in frequency of wave from a source due to relative motion between observer and the source is called Doppler effect. So how we are going to define that one means, the ratio of change in frequency to the original frequency, is called Doppler shift, we are going to call, is called Doppler shift in light. Doppler shift in light. And that is represented by according to mathematical formula. Doppler shift is given by the formula delta nu divided by nu, where nu is the frequency, that is given by the formula radial, V radial divided by C, where C is the velocity of light, C is velocity of light, and delta nu divided by nu is fractional change in frequency. Fractional change in frequency. So mainly Doppler effects are classified into two types based on change in frequency. So Doppler effect is mainly classified into two types. So that is first one, redshift, and second one, blue shift. So shift in position of the object based on due to apparent change in frequency of source and observer, Doppler effects are mainly classified into two types, that is redshift and blue shift. Redshift means, so when source moves away from the observer, there is a decrease in frequency. So what it happens? Decrease in frequency or increase in wavelength takes place, or increase in wavelength takes place during the Doppler effect. This is known as redshift. So if you remember one kind, you can easily define other shift. So then what is the meaning of blue shift? Blue shift means when the source is moving towards the observer, then increase in frequency or decrease in wavelength due to Doppler effect is known as blue shift. So if you remember one thing, you can easily define another one. So here, increase in frequency takes place, or you can call that one as decrease in wavelength takes place. So here, mainly Doppler effects are classified into two types. Those are redshift and blue shift. That is, they are classified due to change in frequency, apparent change in frequency or wavelength between source and the observer. So Doppler effect mainly classified into two types, that is redshift and blue shift. So in case of redshift, so decrease in frequency or increase in wavelength takes place, because both frequency and wavelength both are, how they are related, both are inversely proportional to with each other. But in case of blue shift, so it takes place in case of a Doppler effect. If we increase in frequency or decrease in wavelength takes place, then we are going to call that effect is called blue shift. We are going to call. So how the Doppler effect takes place, how red shift takes place, and how blue shift takes place. Let us see one video for that. Just you observe this, how Doppler effect takes place, this one. So here, the physicist had first Doppler effect, how it takes place in case of a light wave is showing here. In case of light, due to Doppler effect, when the source of light is moving towards the observer, frequency of emitted light changes. And next, when the frequency of sound wave changes, intensity of sound also changes. So in day-to-day life, you are observing this one. And this is in case of Doppler effect in light waves. Light is moving in case of a wave. So this is one of the electromagnetic spectrum. So in that, we are possible to see only visible spectrum because it is in the range of 400 to 700 nanometers. So if any shift towards longer wavelength, it is said to be red shift based on wavelength, or you can classify based on frequency. And any shift towards shorter wavelength is said to be blue shift. And the change in frequency is same as change in wavelength. Longer wavelength has a lower frequency and shorter wavelength has higher frequency. As a Doppler effect, when sound moves towards us, it has high frequency with lower wavelength. When source is moving from us, it has lower frequency with high wavelength, and then the shift is called red shift we are going to call. And this is one of the apparatus. Doppler effect in light can be seen with the help of a device called spectrometer. So this is one simple video in order to show the how Doppler effect takes place. So this is one of the simple video. I hope you got this one, how Doppler effect takes place in case of a sound waves and the light waves. And next we shall discuss next concept, that is principle of superposition of waves. So before understanding this one, so we shall discuss the basic concept. Already you learned in your lower classes, that is in first PUC classes, that is some basic concept like what is the meaning of phase. So the meaning of the phase already we know. So let us consider the propagation of wave here. So this is one wave I shown here. So in order to understand what is the meaning of phase, phase is nothing but it is the state of vibration of a particle. Phase is nothing but it is the state of vibration of the particle is called phase, we are going to call. And phase, how we are going to represent, let us consider one wave in order to show the phase of a wave. So, and here this is crust we are going to call, and below one this is trough. So here the time factor it is going to distribute. So the phase is represented as a fraction of period t here. So this is the time, or you can consider measure in terms of angle theta. So here the time is divided like this. So this is y-axis and this is x-axis, and this is amplitude of a wave that is represented by A. You can measure in terms of time period, or the phase is measured in terms of angle also. So here time period is t by 4. Same thing here, the time is t by 2. And here in this the time is 3t by 4. 3t by 4. And here same thing here, the time is t. Same thing in terms of angle, this is 2 pi, this is 3 pi by 2, and this is pi. So you can measure the phase. Phase is nothing but, what is the meaning of phase? So phase is, it represents the state of vibration of the particles. So in order to explain the phase of a wave, I draw the one diagram. So that is, let us consider the propagation of the wave. So you can explain the state of vibration of the particle in terms of time period, or you can measure in terms of angle. And here A is the, so one complete wave. So the upper part we are going to call crust, and lower part we are going to call trough. So in one complete wave, or the state of vibration of the particle is represented in terms of time factor, or you can represent in terms of angle. So here in one complete wave, the time factor is divided from 0 to t factor. The time is divided into t by 4, t by 2, 3t by 4, and t time. Same thing you can measure in terms of angle, that is pi, pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. So means the state of vibration of the particle of the wave is measured in terms of angle theta, or you can measure in terms of time factor. So that is already shown here. One complete wave is shown here. How the time period is divided and how the phase is measured in terms of angle, that is shown here. Already you learnt in your lower classes that one. This basic concept you already learned. What is the meaning of that phase? So phase is represented as a fraction of period t or fraction of angle 2 pi. Phase of t by 2 in terms of angle is pi by 2. Similarly, some other phases are shown in the diagram, that is pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. So when a wave is set up in a medium, there exists phase difference and path difference between the particles. Then what is the meaning of phase difference? So phase difference means that is always represented by delta pi. So it is a difference in the phases. So how we are going to define this one? It is the difference in the phases of two vibrating particles is called phase difference. And we already learned what is path difference. Path difference is represented by delta x, and how we are going to define this one? Path difference means it is the difference in the distance. It is the difference in the distance traveled by two waves in reaching a given point. So in order to show this one, I am going to draw two waves. They are moving and they are going to meet at a point P. This is, let us consider, first wave, and same thing, this is the second wave. And the difference of these, difference in distance between two waves is nothing but represented by delta x is equal to S 2p minus of S1p. So the difference, it is the difference in the distance traveled by two waves in reaching a given point. Therefore, relation between phase difference and path difference is given by relation between phase difference and path difference is given by the formula. So we already know that is given by delta pi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x, where delta pi is the phase difference. So this is the phase difference and delta x is nothing but path difference. And lambda is the wavelength. So lambda is nothing but wavelength. So these all basic things we already learned in that first year class. So that is, so already we discussed this basic thing. So what is the meaning of phase difference? So phase difference, what is the meaning of phase? State of vibration of the particle is nothing but phase. And phase difference means that is always represented by delta pi. So it is the difference in the phase of two vibrating particles is called phase difference. And path difference is nothing but, so it is the difference in distance traveled by two waves in reaching the given point. where in the diagram P is the point and we are considering two waves. So S1, let us consider this is S2. And these two waves, they are going to meet at a point P. So the distance traveled by these two and the difference in distance traveled by two waves in reaching the point P is represented by delta x, where delta x is the path distance between two waves, that is S1 and S2 in reaching the point P. And S2P is the distance traveled by second waves in reaching the point P. And S1P is the distance traveled by wave 1, S1, in order to reach the point P. And the difference in the distance traveled by two waves in reaching the given point P is represented mathematically by delta x is equal to S2P minus of S1P. So based on these concepts, the relation between phase difference and path difference is given by the formula rho pi is equal to 2 pi by lambda into delta x, where in this we already know what is the meaning of the terminology. So rho pi is equal to 2 pi divided by lambda into delta x, where Rho pi is the phase difference that is represented by delta pi, and 2 pi is the constant and lambda is the wavelength, and rho x is the path difference. So these basic concepts we already learned in PUC 1 itself. So if you remember this one, it is okay. Otherwise, keep remember these basic things, because in order to understand the further concepts, so you have to remember these concepts in order to understand the superposition principle. Or next, we are going to study theory of interference. So in order to understand those concepts, these basic things are very necessary. Next, we shall see superposition principle. So superposition of principle, we shall discuss in next class, that one. So based on this, or whatever the topic we discussed in last class, so this one we discussed, wave optics we discussed, and next we discussed, so wavefront we discussed, and here this is the diagram. So diverging spherical wavefronts are going to represent symbolically like this. So diverging spherical wavefront, converging spherical wavefront, and plane wavefront. In order to represent this, we are showing by diagrammatically, we are showing this one. And this one also we discussed, that is Huygens principle. We already discussed this one, and refraction of plane wave by using Huygens principle we discussed. And here refraction of plane wave using Huygens principle. So this one also we discussed in case of refraction takes place at a rarer medium, and in case of a plane surface we discussed. And in today's class we discussed behavior of the wavefront in case of thin prism, in case of a mirror, and in case of a lens, how the reflection and refraction takes place we discussed. And next, based on that, so based on this, whatever the concept we discussed from starting to up to this class, how they will ask the question is, so what is the phase difference between 2 points on a wavefront, they may ask. So what is cylindrical wavefront, what is plane wavefront, so what is geometrical shape of wavefront of light diverging from a point source. So these are some of the 1 mark questions. So what type of wavefront is observed from distant source of light? So draw the spherical shape of wavefront in the following cases. So light emerging from a point. So they may ask to draw the diagram for 1 or 2 marks also. Next, name the scientists who proposed wave theory of light. What are secondary wavelets? State the Huygens principle of secondary wavelets. And next we discussed derived sense law on the basis of Huygens wave theory of light when light ray travels from rarer medium to denser medium. So this question many times they asked in previous model question papers. So next, derive the law of refraction of light on the basis of Huygens wave theory. Or they may ask this question, using Huygens wave theory of light, show that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection during the plane wave is reflected by the plane. They may ask like this also. Next, draw the shape of reflected wave front when the plane wave front is incident on the prism. They may ask like this. So next, draw the shape of the reflected wavefront when wavefront is incident on a concave mirror. Or based on Doppler effect, they may ask the question like, what is Doppler effect? Define red shift and blue shift. They may ask like that also. And write the expression for Doppler shift in light and explain the terms involved in it. So they may ask like this. So whatever the topic we discussed up to today's class, they may ask a question like this. So if you want to note down the question, you can note down and try to answer these questions. And here, related to Doppler effect, so we are going to represent the formula like this. So that is, Doppler shift is represented mathematically by using delta nu divided by mu, that is equal to v radial divided by c, where mu is nothing but change in frequency and mu is the original frequency and c is the velocity of light. This delta nu divided by mu, that whole thing we are going to call that one as fractional change in frequency. So some more concepts we shall discuss in next class. So based on this, if you are having any doubt, so just put in the chat box. So in today's class, what and all we discussed? We discussed how the reflection and refraction takes place in case of prism, lens and mirror. And we discussed what is Doppler effect and different types of Doppler effect. So, okay, what am I teaching to you? Based on that, you try to make your own notes. So any doubt, whatever we discussed based on this? So if you are having any doubt, put in the chat box. Any doubt? No. Okay.